just wanted to do an album that really tapped into nostalgia, you know, like I wanted to create an album that took you on a tour of my different phases and how that translated artistically in hip-hop and what I fell in love with. You know, not just with delivery and vocally, but how I chose the beats to form the soundtrack itself. I wanted instrumentals that, and the types of productions that I fell in love with over the years, and falling in love with hip-hop and becoming my own self and my own rapper. In a sense, recapping my whole rap career and the vibes that helped me grow as an individual and as an artist, and, you know, that transition between adolescence and becoming a man. An album that captures, you know, this past half of my life, since I was just getting out of high school till now. My growing pains, the silliness of childhood, the forming, but then again the separation of brotherly friendships and failed business attempts, and my addiction of love and women and the women that come along with it, to fall in love with rap and becoming an MC and learning the craft. The ups and downs of trying to be heard and to make it, and being in an oversaturated industry or market, and being from a small town with little resources. You know, I wanted this album to be like a time capsule of sort, and every song was like a diary entry over the years. You know, kind of like a photo album. Here I am, you know, part of one of those generations that was fatherless, and we had to become fathers. You know? So I flash back a lot on my younger era in life, and the good times with my homies, to the stress of becoming a responsible adult and learning to be a dad. You know, in a sense, the lyricism on the project was purposely simplified. Not to say I dumbed it down, but I made it more clear and understandable so that the listener has no trouble at all understanding the stories and thoughts throughout. I didn't want shock value. I didn't want excessive, complicated, overly wordy bars. I wanted to just be real and legible, you know, where the project wouldn't be limited in its reach, its demographic, or its effectiveness. Most who know me know I love working with a wide array of artists. Not at all this time did I fill up the album with features, though. I didn't really dabble in the collaborations other than a couple exceptions. I chose to do more of a true solo album, if there is such a thing. I took the tape personal. Conceptually, you could venture to say this tape is about time and what it does to us. But nothing dies forever. It's not just a reference to life and death, or in a physical, biological sense, but rather an ode to the parts of ourselves and the stages we go through on this planet. From my eyes, at least. So it's important to face and know yourself. Parts of you are still there, even if they lay way back in the oldest data in your memory bank. But it's important to remember and to recall the positive and negative things. That's what mixes us together into this blend that's us and that's me and that's you. We're affected by everything with every year that passes. Every person that is invited and sneaks up in your life can alter you, but not necessarily your course in life. Essentially, you are directing it all through your choices. Although there is some raw emotion in venting and pain mentioned on the album, as a whole it's intended to be uplifting, you know. Not to sound corny, but just to paraphrase, like, yo, this is life. I lived, and this path I chose made me into someone I'm proud of now. And it's been one hell of a ride, an awesome adventure along the way, and guess what? I love all you motherfuckers. See, I first started writing around 1995 and really started recording and figuring out the technical side of it in 97, 98, so being that it's the end of 2015 right now, music has wholeheartedly been my dream, and I've been doing it half my life. Not to repeat myself, but to admit it, I'm obsessed and madly in love with it, every aspect of it. You know, I appreciate y'all being here. Through all the real hardships and stress, it all gets alleviated at small moments when a fan or a friend shares some positive reinforcement, or they tell you a killer show, or some random person comes up to you like, yo man, you did your thing. Those minutes and those little small wins and those cosigns from peers or even strangers, that's when it means the most. Such a fast-paced world, and everybody's busy and occupied, and times are crazy. Just for someone to take their time and watch your video, or attend a gig, or spend money on you and invest their time, that's just priceless. That's why I'm always really thankful and try to show gratitude towards any supporters. Want to hear me, watch me, in a sense get to know me, man, that's crazy. But I guess music is sharing in the experience. I grew up just shy and timid and scared, the type of kid that was hurt and confused and longing for approval, and stared at my feet when I walked by, looking for fellowship. I was broke all the time, bouncing around from city to city and house to house, searching for God, sensitive to everything, way more than I should be. And so, when I first grabbed a hold of music, for the first time, it really gave me a voice. So now here I am, blue-collar worker, single father in my mid-30s, with all this music under my belt and this crazy catalog, sitting in a small town, practically uncharted to the nation, trying to do hip-hop and art in general. It's frustrating, and that's an understatement. I feel like I've tried damn near everything, and I've had my fair share of success, but then again, in return, I've had so many friendships lost, and haters, and failed endeavors, and industry shenanigans, just the struggles of being independent in such a corporately ran infrastructure, so many failed relationships with women. For real, being a white rapper with intentions of making it in music from a small little city in a small little state, and attempting to do that is one of the hardest things you could ever even conjure up to try as an occupation. Not only to be taken serious, but to actually fucking do it and make it, whatever making it is. Talk about a road less traveled. The odds are completely against you.